Hatfield McCoy Museum, Liberty, Kentucky. FredMcCoy.com for all the information. I'm Fred McCoy, and Sheila McCoy's behind the scenes holding the camera tonight. Once again, we're going to go over one of the stories that we've got in our book, the Hatfield McCoy Monument for a Murder. Almost 900 pages, and this is not a making it real video. This is just one of our stories that we put in our book, and it's about Selkirk McCoy. If you remember Selkirk, he was the son of Asa McCoy. Now Asa McCoy, Uriah McCoy, and Sarah McCoy were all children of Samuel McCoy. Now, they were brothers and sisters. And of course, Sarah married Randall McCoy. Uriah McCoy is my great-great-grandfather on the McCoy side. And Asa McCoy, he was friends with Devil Anse Hatfield during the feud. He moved to West Virginia. He lived on the West Virginia side of the river, took up with Devil Anse and the West Virginia Hatfields, and his son was Selkirk. The article may explain a lot about why Selkirk voted the way that he did during the Hog Trial. I'm going to read you a newspaper article in a minute. After the 9 prisoners were escorted to Louisville, Kentucky, they gave an interview. The story says they arrived safely, and L.D. Hatfield and Selkirk McCoy was the spokesman for the group. This is the way Selkirk described Devil Anse to the reporter. Now, this is not my words. This is Louisville, Kentucky, February the 16th. This would have been 1889, or no, I'm sorry, late 1888. This would have been after the Cabin Massacre. But here's the article. I'll read it from there, but I've also got it typewritten where I can read it better. Ellison Hatfield is the leader of the West Virginians. I have known him all my life, and there is no doubt he is guilty of all those crimes with which he is charged. He has the worst temper I have ever knew. If he gets mad at you, nothing satisfies him but some terrible revenge. The boy, Randolph McCoy, had his head blown to pieces after being tied to the tree. We think this statement better explains Selkirk's mindset about Devil Anse, and it was clearly one of fear. You may have seen the video, or you may watch it in the future, but we did a video talking about Randall McCoy, or Randall McCoy Jr., been tied to the pawpaw trees with his 2 brothers, and they shot the 2 brothers. Randall McCoy was not the right kid, and Devil Anse trying to give him a way out and told him to get on his knees and beg, and he'd let him go. He said, "To hell with you, Anse Hatfield." He turned around and blew his head off. He was 15 years old. But this is Selkirk, and Selkirk is the one that supposedly on the jury voted in favor of Floyd Hatfield not being guilty of stealing the hog. There was never any doubt in nobody's mind on the Kentucky side whose hog it was. There was just, and Preacher Anse, my great-great-grandfather, tried to use the wisdom of Solomon. Remember the wisdom of Solomon, where the woman rode over on a baby? Correct me if I'm wrong, Sheila's the Bible person of the family, but she rode over and she laid on her baby and it killed it. And she woke up and she took the other woman's baby as hers because she wanted to have a baby. And the other woman protested and said, "That's my baby." And Solomon, if I remember correctly, he couldn't figure out whose baby it was, so he took out a sword and he says, "That's okay, I'll just cut the baby in half, please both of you." And the lady that had killed her baby said, "Okay, that's fine." The real mother said, no, don't kill the baby, let her have it. Mm-hmm. And that's how he knew who the real mother was. Wow, it gives you chills telling that story. That's wisdom. Man. That's a good story there. And that's basically what happened here. Preacher Anse thought that he was going to get 6 Hatfields, 6 McCoys. Now understand, This was what some people calls a district court trial, a case, a civil case, a minor case, and everybody, or not everybody, but some people wants to get technical and they say, oh, they would have only been 6 people on the jury. Well, this was Justice of the Peace Court. He was the Justice of the Peace. He was the judge. He could have 20 people on the jury if he wanted to. And he thought that it was going to be good to have 6 of each one. He thought 6 McCoys would vote McCoy, 6 Hatfields vote Hatfield, and he would be free. It would be a mistrial and go on. Nobody would be guilty. Nobody would be innocent. Just, it's a mistrial. Go on about your business. Didn't happen like that. Selkirk was one of the McCoys. And Selkirk actually worked for Devil Anse Hatfield. He lived in West Virginia, and so did his son, L.D. Hatfield, L.D. McCoy here. So here you can see that if you can film it at all. Maybe they can close in and
try to go in a little bit. So
read some of it if they want. But basically it says that they came to Frankfort. They were escorted to Frankfort by 7 guards. Randall McCoy, one of them. I heard one reporter, Thomas Dotson, one time said, tell me anywhere where Randall McCoy ever led the McCoys anywhere. Well, he led those 8 or 9 Hatfields and Mayhorns to and McCoys to Frankfort to stand trial. He led them there, and they got there safe. They said they were treated well. Deputy Sheriff Frank Phillips and a posse came to our houses and captured us. I was 60 miles from the border, and Frank Phillips had no right to arrest us without a requisition. And if you'll remember, after Frank Phillips went to West Virginia with the posse and brought these 9 guys back to Kentucky, they filed all kinds of legal papers, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that you have to now get an extradition. It's from 1888 to now, that's the law. You have to get a governor's warrant to extradite, or they have to freely sign to come back to another state that they've committed a crime in. And that's what that Supreme Court case was all about. It's an interesting story on Selkirk. Thanks for joining us, and I was wanting to throw in another video here, but we're going to stop this video because I know some people don't like to watch real long videos, so we're going to keep it short. We'll stop this one and start another one, and I'll tell you another story.